Hello, dear friends. Jonathan Rosenblatt here with you from the RJC, wishing you and your family a Chag Sameach. The series that we are inaugurating with this video is one which, one by one, explores the Ushpizin, the 7 mystical shepherds, who, according to tradition, visit the Sukkah on each of the nights of Sukkot. Each night we feature a different one of the Ushpizin as our honored guest, as our special spotlighted guest. And so, of course, on the first evening, we welcome Avraham Avinu, Abraham the patriarch. I always try to imagine what must Avraham think when he comes into a sukkah and finds his descendants gathered there in their holiday finery, in his beautifully decorated hut, which remembers their trust in the clouds of God's glory to protect them. There's an aspect of the life of Abraham that perhaps goes unnoted, and that is the fact that he is so often, again and again, deserted. He again and again becomes Ha'ivri, the man who is alone on one side of the world with all the rest of the world on the other. And this is not only because of his unique faith as compared to the pagans around him, it's also in familiar terms. It's a very beautiful note of the Sforno at the end of all places of Parshas Noach, when he shows how Avram began his journey to the promised land with his father Terach. Vayikach Terach es Avram beno, ve'eslot ben Haran ben beno, ve'esarai kalaso eshes Avram beno. Took this entire retinue, and they went off together toward the land of Canaan. Vayavo ad Haran, and they came just as far as Haran, vayeshvu sham, and they dwelled there. And the next verse ends, Vayomas Terach b'Charan. When Avraham was called by Hashem to go further, Terach said, no, you go alone. I'm not going with you any further. Lot, who at least began the journey with his uncle, is given special recognition. There's none of the other descendants of Terach, none of the other nephews or relations are given some recognition in the Torah and given some share of land. And this is a nod to Lot, a nod of gratitude for his having accompanied Abraham at least a little way. And then comes the moment when his first son, Yishmael, must be sent away. And Avraham pleads, Lu Yishmael yechel lefanecha, would that Yishmael could live before you, O God. But Hashem instructs him to listen to Sarah, and Yishmael goes away. And even the son who would be his closest bosom companion, the subject of Vayelchu Shnehem Yachdov, the son who would truly be at one with his father as they climbed the mountain to the Akedah, when Avraham returns, he is alone. And the Midrash in various places tells us that Yitzchak went to study, Yitzchak went to the Garden of Eden. Wherever he went, Yitzchak went his own way, so that when Avraham grieves for the loss of Sarah, he is again alone. And yet Hashem promises him, look up at the stars. Ko yezarecha, those will be your children. And it is almost as if this patriarch, who has one by one had to say goodbye to all of his companions, wanders in history, waiting to be reunited with the stars, to know that he will sit at a table and be surrounded by his children. And I believe it is precisely that moment which is realized when we welcome him into our sukkah, and when we say to him, sweet grandfather Abraham, you stood alone so many times so that the faith and the covenant of Am Yisrael might be established. You need never be alone again. in every sukkah where your children are sitting to observe the commandments of the God whom you pursued and discovered, in every one of those sukkot, you have a seat. You have a place. And you will be among us as we sing, as we give praise, and as we enjoy the closeness of the God of Abraham. Chag Sameach, dear friends. Welcome him.